More deer.
When you got little ones, you have to accommodate. And last time I checked, there wasn't really no seatbelts in existence in '54, so we got to put some in. And here we go. Eddie, what I need you to do is jump off the seat there. We're going to take the bottom portion out.
Okay. Like so this part?
We're going to pick up on the front. There we go. And then you walk through the car. Yep. You got it? Keep on coming. Keep on coming. Come this way. Turn it this way here.
This way.
Watch what she's doing.
Okay.
Now, look in there. Yeah, look in there.
No seat. Make sure you don't hit the knobs. Yeah. Knobs. That's big ones.
Now the plan is, you see this?
Yeah. Yeah.
The plan is to get that
Right.
something like this, or like this. Okay. Okay.
You have extra.
Ordered these seat belts, and they're I think it was like $25. But the good thing about it is they're 3-point. So you got this point right here, you got this point right here, and then you got this point. And you remember the Blazers? You remember how the seatbelt would catch you sometimes if you wasn't moving right? That's because it had a different kind of what you call brake. This one, it'll move like that. It'll move like that. It moves in all directions. It don't matter how you mount the retractor. The only thing that stops it is speed. So them old seat belts, if you got the truck tilted in a certain direction, you'd choke because your seatbelt would lock on you. Y'all remember it doing that?
Yeah.
So these are super cool because I can mount them anywhere at any angle in the car, and they won't choke us.
But if you go fast.
But if we come to a stop real fast, it locks. And I think it's like 20 bucks for 2. So we're gonna update it just a little bit. We're gonna make it where if the car stops, we stop with the car. You know, you don't want to be like a pinball bouncing around in the car.
Yeah.
Y'all did a fine job today assisting me to clean up. Appreciate that. We gonna have to record incognito, huh?
My hands are cold.
You should put them around that cold can and warm up like that.
I need to go to Granny's and sit near the fire.
That's what we ought to do. It's
Yeah.
pouring down rain. Let's just do that.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Just get all nice and cozy in here. Try not to drill a hole through my gas tank. It works really good if you're going clockwise, just so you know. Yeah. Stupid. It really smells hot and stinky. Let's hope nothing's smoldering. So we're going to do this one and this one. Yeah, like so. Yeah, we got them pretty 2 ends together. There's that one. My old Adder Lynn knows how to put a back seat in, because she helped me. Oh look, a seatbelt and a 1954 Hudson Hornet. It's a good thing tiny children are tiny. All right, we got 3 seat belts. Point, 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 and point, point, point. And you can see, of course, the glass is dirty. Them little retractors are in, and all in nice and neat and cleanish. I got some for the front, but I hadn't put them in yet and ain't doing it tonight.
Daddy.
Yeah, come around on the other side.
Daddy.
You can do it. See if you can get that thing buckled. Right there you go. Pull the top. There you go. There's one. There you go. You can do it. Is everybody buckled?
Yeah.
Look at that craziness. We got buckled children. Yeah, around the block. Around the block in a 54 Hudson Hornet. alternator, functioning seat belts, power steering, brand new seats, brand new dash pad.
Daddy, where are we going?
Round the block.
Which block?
This block, man.
Daddy, can you tell us when you come? Bitches out.
Yeah, I don't want to park in the tree. Let's park right here in the drive. No, let's don't park in the drive. Let's park where it's flat.
Yeah. It might roll down the hill.
Yeah, we don't want it rolling down the hill. Go around this here building again.
I like the Hudson.
I do too, man.
Hudson Hornet.
Hudson Hornet.
It's like a horn.
Yeah. You know why they call it a Hudson Hornet?
Why?
Because that's its name.
Daddy just said
You know why they named it a Hudson Hornet?
why?
Because that's what they called it. There was actually a man, his last name was Hudson. And he started out a long time ago making and selling furniture. You believe that? A company that sold furniture started selling cars. That is crazy, but that's the deal. That's where Hudson's come from. Yeah, just use that seat as a stirrup there. I've discovered a newfound hatred for camera tripods and cameras. They are the devil. So it ain't gotta be fancy. The idea of this is to lay this material out on this dish and cover that unsightly unsightly. There it is. I didn't get the video that I wanted. I think it turned out alright. This will be a place to put my cups and my cell phone here in the middle. I think it turned out alright. So the other day, I was putting in this alternator. I can't imagine why my wires got mashed around. What a terrible mess. But we're gonna see what we can do about these naked wires covered. So I think something's overloading or something other, but the plan was to replace those anyway, so try to get that squared away. Culprit. Just keep replacing wires. There's a little hood or little hickey-doo. What'd you say there? Binds blank. Can't think. Not old enough. Light bulb for the nose. Ow. I've done about as much as I'm going to do without a painless wiring harness. I just hope that I don't live to regret doing it one wire at a time. I know they're not, they ain't nowhere near factory. And if you get real close and look at them, it's kind of, I don't know, rednecky or ghetto-y. I don't know what you want to call it. It ain't factory. I just streamlined it a little bit. I got the blinkers working. And maybe that's hideous. Maybe it ain't. It looks fine from the side here. It don't bother me at all. It's the head-on that I'm concerned about. The head-on there. So the key here was to try and find something to streamline so that I could just have some blinkers. Replacement lenses are almost impossible to find, and when you do, they're ridiculously overpriced, and it just wasn't happening in this case at any rate. I was able to track down a spare lens, got the taillights covered up, got working signals on front and rear, and I think it's satisfactory. Somebody may have nightmares after seeing what I've put on this car, but it serves its purpose. I'm satisfied for now. Well, we got a little bit of a issue. Go over here and change the oil. Hopefully it'll thicken it up just a little bit. We got a rear main seal dripping, and it may be one of them things that we can live with, and then again it may be one of them things where it's got to be replaced and repaired. Completely unnecessary change of oil, but for being able to show y'all what I'm looking at makes it a little bit easier. I drove it yesterday and I noticed that it was dripping out of the back just a little bit, so I think pretty sure I got a rear main seal issue. And from all the information I'm getting from everybody on all the Hudson forums and Facebook pages incredibly very helpful. So apparently these had a rope that, from what I'm getting, it calls for dropping the oil pan and removing the rear main and getting something called a sneaky Pete and running this sneaky Pete over the top and then grabbing the rope and pulling the rope back over. We're gonna try something a little on the cheating side first, because everybody's calling that a PETA, and for G-rated content we won't go into the definition of PETA, but it's an aggravating thing from all accounts that I'm getting. So the old car is not taking me to Vegas or Canada or Mexico, and it may be a catastrophic failure to do this. I got a main means of getting my children to school and for whatever else. So we're gonna throw some of this in there. This is not by any means a permanent solution, but if it'll help. I mean, it's already, you can't see it there, but it's just driving it from the house over here. It's already got a pretty good drip puddle underneath it. So we're gonna cross our fingers and hope. The other thing was, I'm not a fan of Fram, but this is what Parts Store had. This is a C3 oil filter. And again, I changed the oil once, made a video on that, and I put a 51010 or a PC10 oil filter in there. At any rate, we're gonna look at the drip. We're gonna take that inspection plate off and just see what we can see. It's real easy when you're working on something, get aggravated when it don't make no sense. And a lot of the things about about this car don't make no sense. And I guess that's really where I'm at. It's not a matter of, well, maybe it is that I don't know what I'm doing, but I am trying to figure it out. And I think for the most part, that's what Hudson was doing. There's a lot of innovative things about these cars that we take for granted today, like the step-down design. You get in almost any modern car now, and they're all practically step-down design. And back then, that was not the case. So you come across this dust shield for the flywheel and the torque converter. I mean, look at that. You go to take it out, and you got these bolts here and here, 2 bolts here, and then on the back side, okay, no, it's just 2 bolts. These 2 bolts here, and then it comes down, but you can't take it out. So you got to undo these little screws down here, and it's a two-piece, which again I thought was hilarious. And I'm getting my fresh pot of coffee in, so I'm in a good mood about it. All right, so maybe you can see up in there. A little on the moist side. And I can see where you would have to take the oil pan down and that main cap. Let's just say a little love and prayer and put some thicker oil in it. It's kind of damp everywhere, but I don't know if the fellow that redone this car back in the day put any of that stuff in it or not, but honestly, the more I look at it, the more I'd say that this car was done probably back in the 80s. The door panels I took out of it, they were not original. And I don't think the seats were original as far as the material was original either. Let's get this oil out. kinds of little strange colors coming out of oil. I'm about ready to call Scooby-Doo and the gang because we got a mystery. I don't know what that stuff is that's coming out of there. It's gray. It's what I found when the first time I changed the oil filter. It was down in the bottom of the canister. I rigged up a little pipe here. Basically, just run that up in the oil pan to the end and pulled what was down in the pan back out, and then of course I just flipped it over and done the other side. If you hadn't seen any of the other videos, this is kind of what this stuff is here. Try to get it in view. It's not metal. It's almost like gray clay, and it's super stringy. I don't know, maybe somebody poured something in there way back in the day, and through 40 years of sitting wherever it was sitting, it decided to settle all to the bottom. But and it, if you can see how gray that is. But at any rate, we just keep picking and pulling and stringing it out. This is the second oil change. I've probably driven this thing, I don't know, 20 miles, idled, maybe all in all since I've changed the oil, maybe it's accumulated 2 hours of idle time. Everything sounds good, runs good. Just developed that drip in the back, so I'm gonna dive into that oil filter now. What weight comparison there is between a 54 Hudson 308 cubic inch inline six, like what the weight is to that, and its comparison to some kind of modern engine. I'm not particularly looking for some kind of big old horsepower peel wheels deal. I just want something reliable with air conditioning. What really kind of threw me over, aside from the Hudson Hornet badge on the back, was the fact that the thing had air conditioning on it, like an aftermarket deal. Been there, done that with the original stuff. Don't want to do it again. Get back down in here and pull this here oil filter out. Last time I did this, there was all kinds of gunk built up in the bottom. Okay, it's all clean down now. And when I say that, I mean it ain't got the gum, the gray gum. I just don't like the way this filter looks, man. I assume that metal thing at the top is a handle to pull it out. Oh, it's so clean. what money they saved on making short dipsticks, they spent on extra nuts and bolts for the inspection plate down there. If you ever wonder if you're getting things done, you just look at your finger. I'm not a big fan of the oil dummy lights, but this one actually works. I'm proud of that. All right. We could stand to have a half a cord in there, but one of these days I'm gonna have me a fancy camera mount. Until then, y'all get to sit in the floor. I didn't pour none of that Blue Devil in there. Quite frankly, it just looked a little thin to me. Don't make a whole lot of sense, especially if you're running one of them rope seals. That's what this thing got. It'd be different if it was like one of them old rubber seals, but it ain't. Definitely time for some exhaust. We got fresh oil in it. I didn't put none of that rear main seal in there because it didn't make sense to me to put something thin as that. Oh yeah. Getting it dripping pretty good. Well, I added some of that rear main seal stuff, and we said a little prayer over it, and you know what, that thing stopped dripping. I know that's unbelievable. Oh, let's see. Dry under there. All this other stuff was leftovers. In which, truth be told, I probably better check the oil. Good grief. The darn dipstick's gonna drip dry before I get a decent shot of the oil on it. There, good grief. The oil's so clean you can't see it no way. The drip's completely stopped. So we're just gonna keep putting new stuff in if we start seeing the old stuff come out. And thank y'all for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. And until the next one, y'all have a good night.